Cool. Anyways, welcome back to another week. Put a two in the Zoom chat if you can hear me talk. Just to make sure, just put a two in the Zoom chat so you can hear me. And pretty much today we're going to talk about 7 daily actions if you want a New Year transformation. Okay, so the reason why you're here, so let's be honest, like you're here because you want to look good, you want to feel good, you want to walk into summer this year in a body that you're actually proud of, right? And the truth is, summer bodies are built in the months nobody pays attention to. So summer bodies are built in December, they're built in January, and they're built in February. Okay. So what I've learned when coaching hundreds of women is that procrastination always leads to chaos. Okay, so put that into this Zoom chat right now. So procrastination leads to chaos. Okay. And chaos leads to doing absolutely nothing. And January becomes this frantic scramble where everyone is stressed, everyone is overwhelmed, and already behind. But you, if you're in the Zoom chat right now, or if you're watching this as a recording, you're getting ahead now. And the best part is that these 7 habits almost require no tracking at all. They don't require perfection. They don't require complicated rules. These are just patterns I've seen from all the successful women in the soft sculpted method. And I'm just gonna pretty much straight up give you the blueprint. Okay. And you can honestly just start it today. So put a two in the Zoom chat if you're ready to dive in so I can actually get into this stuff. Fix my stuff here. So we're gonna go straight into it. Daily action number one, 12,000 steps per day. Okay. And if there's one habit that has changed everything for my clients, it's honestly this, getting 12,000 steps in or more. Okay. And I know it sounds a lot, like, but until you realize how much it actually steadies your hunger, it steadies your cravings, it steadies your mood, your metabolism, it steadies everything. Okay. And this isn't just walking, it's honestly energy balance. Like this is fat loss without tracking a single calorie. Every woman who has lost 20 to 40 pounds in the soft sculpt method had one thing in common. They moved more than the average person. And the average person, straight up, like if you have a desk job, they're walking 2 to 3 thousand steps a day, which is insane, right? But you can honestly hit 12K just by breaking it up. It could be a morning walk, it could be a lunchtime walk, it could be an evening stroll. And it doesn't have to be all in one go. You can break it up. And there's women like Shar, for example, who works an 8 to 4 or 9 to 5, or maybe longer sometimes, where she sits down all day, right? She hit the 12K or even more consistently for 5 months. And look what happened. She lost 20 pounds, right? So you don't have to be perfect. You just got to be consistent when it comes to this stuff. Okay. And this is the habit that makes every other habit easier. Okay. So number two, and this is something that we talked about in the challenge today as well, is making sure you have a half plate of veggies for every single meal. Every single meal. Okay. So if you struggle with hunger, if you struggle with snacking, this is the fix. Okay. So half your plate being colorful veggies, not like honestly veggies such as cucumbers, right? Cucumbers or tomatoes. Well, tomatoes a fruit, whatever. You want more colorful veggies, even for breakfast, that's totally up to you. For breakfast is something usually high protein and carbs. That's what I do. You can go crazy if you want. But then instead of veggies, you can have like a fruit instead. Okay. But pretty much when it comes to fat loss, it's always about staying full while being in a calorie deficit. Okay. So it doesn't feel like you're starving and it feels like you're actually eating more. This is why my clients don't binge on the weekends. This is why they're not battling every night with snacking cravings, right? Volume eating works. Okay. So put volume eating works. Okay. And you could even ask right now, like, what is volume eating? Volume eating is pretty much eating more food, but those foods are less in calories. Okay. You probably heard that somewhere on Instagram, TikTok. This is the key to fat loss. Okay. Eating like it looks like you're eating more, but technically you're actually eating less calories. And an easy way to do that is to make sure every meal that you have is veggies, colorful veggies to be specific. Okay. Potatoes don't count as a veggie. Those are a starchy carb. Um, but yeah, and once you combine volume and protein, you're going to become unstoppable. Okay. And I even showed you or like you've probably seen my page how the successful people in the program have lost a ton of weight. Honestly, just loading their food or like loading each meal with a ton of veggies. Okay. Put a three in the Zoom chat if that makes sense. So I can move on or no questions. Yeah. So squash instead of rice, or you can honestly have like the squash and the rice. Okay. Moving on. So number three is to drink at least 2 liters of water before 3 p.m. Okay. Most women are chronically dehydrated without even realizing it. And being like dehydration looks like hunger. It looks like moodiness. It looks like cravings, zero energy. Okay. But once you front load the 2 liters before your 3 p.m., your entire day is gonna shift. Okay. So you're gonna notice that you're gonna be snacking less, you're gonna be eating slower, your body is gonna actually digest food properly. And for so many of my clients, like this one habit is what fixed their afternoon crashes as well. But also late night cravings, late night overeating, late night snacks. Simple. Honestly, just chug a lot of water. Okay. What you can do as well is you can do this thing where you drink 1 cup of water before and after every meal if you want to avoid the snacking or if you know that you tend to snack a lot, right? That's going to prevent you from eating more. Okay. Because again, the goal for fat loss is to just eat less in general, but just move more, but also feeling full, right? Because a lot of women they think, oh yeah, like I have to be starving when on a fat loss journey. Technically, you are gonna feel starving, but then the more you train your body to feel starving, the less you're gonna feel those hunger pains. Okay. But in order to reduce the intensity of those hunger pains, we could drink more water, we could eat more veggies, right? And all these things are good for you, right? So number four is to follow any workout plan. Okay. So if you're just starting out and you don't know exactly what to do for a workout, just honestly follow any workout plan for now. Okay. And stick with that for at least 4 to 6 weeks. Okay. Stop overthinking about the perfect program in order to lose weight. That's not going to lead anywhere. Like you're going to be stuck in the same spot and not go anywhere with your progress. Okay. If nothing changes, nothing's going to change. Okay. So there's no such thing as a perfect program. It's honestly, you just have to freaking start, right? The women who transformed the fastest weren't doing crazy workouts. They just picked a simple routine and stuck with it. So 3 workouts per week, that's honestly all you need in order to build shape, tone your body, and actually see progress by summertime. Okay. Strength training. Okay. Strength training leads to toning. So strength training leads to toning. Put that into the Zoom chat right now. Okay. Just so it's like dialed into your head. Okay. So strength training leads to toning. A lot of ladies, they think that like when you start strength training, you're gonna build muscle and get bigger. Technically, yes, you do build muscle, but then you're not gonna get bigger. For a lot of ladies, no matter how hard they try, Their muscles don't expand, they just get tighter for some reason. That's just how it is. But you've probably seen those ladies on Instagram or TikTok where they're just super jacked. They're eating a ton of protein, but also they're training probably like 150% all the time, right? For us who want something sustainable, we're training like 60, 70% intensity all the time, right? So we can do this for the rest of our lives, right? There's other people that you see on Instagram, or like there's other women specifically you see on Instagram where they're super jacked, they're showing off their biceps, their shoulders. Those ladies are on a different level. They're fucking extreme, right? That's not us in the soft and sculpted method. What we're focusing on is like longevity, right? Not something that's short term, right? We're like like we're not aiming for anything extreme because as we know, extreme is just gonna lead to you crashing out. Okay. And it's gonna lead to you going back to your old ways, right? So stop waiting for the perfect plan. Just do any workout program 3 times a week if you're just getting started. And this is going to make sure that you're not going to restart all the time. Okay. You just got to be doing something consistently until June, and you're going to see a whole new person. Okay. As long as you're getting 3 workouts a week, you're good. And if you're changing the workout plan every month, you're good. Okay. But yeah, 3 workouts a week for 6 months is honestly going to change your body like crazy. Okay. But as long as you're pushing at an intensity of 60 to 70%. Okay. Put a 5 in the Zoom chat if you're still following. Or if you have any questions, feel free to ask any time. Okay. Habit number 5 is to cook 1 pack of meat every Sunday. Okay. So protein is honestly the hardest thing for a lot of women to be consistent with. And that's why this habit is honestly magic. Okay. So for me and in my house, so me and my wife, we make sure that we cook 1 pack of chicken. It's either chicken, ground turkey, ground beef, either Sunday or Monday. And it doesn't take that long to cook. It takes like 30 seconds, not 30 seconds, 30 minutes. Okay. You don't even have to look at it cooking, right? You can just leave it for a while, leave a timer on, and just let it cook, right? And that 1 pack alone is going to give you 3 to 4 days worth of food, 3 to 4 days worth of protein, right? No tracking, no thinking, no scrambling at 2 p.m. when you're starving and you're going to end up ordering takeout during lunchtime, right? So when protein is ready, fat loss is honestly going to be automatic for you. Okay. And there are times where in the middle of the week, so usually on Wednesday to Thursday, you're out of the meal prep from Sunday or Monday. That's honestly a good time to buy like a rotisserie chicken from Save On or Price Mart or Superstore. You can buy that and then you can just strip it for the next day for meal prep. That's it, right? It's not that hard. But if you really want to get toned and if you really want to lose fat faster and get toned just in time for summer, you got to make sure you're having enough protein in every single meal. Okay. And just getting this done, and honestly, it takes half an hour of your Sunday or Monday, right? That's what's going to help you lose the fat faster, but also build muscle faster or tone. Okay. Like meal prep honestly doesn't have to be complicated. It just has to be prepared. Okay. So put that into the Zoom chat right now. Meal prep doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be. A lot of ladies, they see these fancy meal preps on TikTok and Instagram, which takes 2 hours. Yo, I'm not spending 2 hours just to cook food, right? For me, it takes like half an hour, 1 hour max. Okay. And the veggies, I make it super easy. I buy Taylor Farm salad or I cook up a lot of broccoli for the rest of the week. And rice is just always going to be there for me. Okay. And you can always change up the carb if you want as well, right? Um, put a 6 in the chat if you're still following. Or if you have any questions up when it comes to meal prep. Because a lot of ladies tend to find this super complicated, but honestly, It's them that's making it complicated. They're seeing all these flashy things on Instagram, like a fancy buffalo chicken kind of meal prep, which honestly takes like so long to make. But honestly, you just got to make it super easy and you can add the sauce later on. Think about the sauce later on. Okay. So, number six is you need to be in bed 8 hours before you wake up. Okay. So, fat loss is going to be impossible if you're tired. So, imagine when you're tired, you're exhausted. That's pretty much you on low battery. Okay. And when you're on low battery, you're not going to function properly. Right? So you can do everything right when it comes to your fat loss goals. Like you can be getting your steps in. So you can have a high step count. You could be meal prepping. You can be hitting your protein every single day. But if you are exhausted, progress is going to stall. Okay? So if you're not at full bat, your progress is going to stall. So this is a super underrated part when it comes to losing weight. A lot of ladies are in a state of high stress. Okay. And what happens is like your body is going to fight fat fight fat loss when it's tired. When you're on low energy, your cravings are going to spike. Uh, your stress is higher. Your metabolism is slower. Pretty much your body's not working at 100% because you're not sleeping enough, right? So, which is why number six is you got to make sure you're getting in the bed 8 hours before you're supposed to wake up. Okay, so that gives you time to like fall asleep. Okay. Um, and yeah, so like every successful client that I've had solid sleep routines. So when you're sleeping more, this is when your hormones reset. This is when your muscle recovers. This is when your hunger is normalized, right? Don't skip this step. Okay. Always make sure you're in bed 8 hours before you wake up. Try not to scroll before going to bed. Okay. I would say if you're on bed or like once you're in the bed, face is washed, teeth is brushed, you've showered, no scrolling is what I'd say. Read a book, okay, so you fall asleep faster. So you get as much sleep as you can as possible. Especially as we are getting closer to 30. So a lot of my clients, when I notice that they're sleeping too late, like 12, 1, 2 a.m., they're not seeing the progress. Even though they're hitting their protein goal, they're within their calories, they're getting the workouts in, they're doing all the right things, but then they're sleeping too late. Okay. So if you're sleeping at 12 a.m. or later than that, guess what? You're not going to see progress. Okay. As we're getting closer to 30, we got to be sleeping at an earlier time. 10:30 is normal. 11 is fine, right? But we can't be sleeping later than 12. We're not high schoolers anymore. I know a lot of high schoolers that sleep at 12 to 2. But like as we get older, our body is just gonna need more rest because we're getting older, pretty much, right? Put a 7 if you're still following. Okay. So pretty much get into bed 8 hours before you're supposed to wake up. That's the sweet spot. Okay. And 7 hours of sleep is actually ideally what you need as well. Okay. Because when you're at full bat, everything's gonna be so much easier. Okay. You're gonna have more energy. You're gonna see the weight go down more. You're gonna have more energy to do the things that are hard, right? A lot of the ladies say that like getting the steps is hard. Um, Meal prepping is hard. Getting the workouts are hard. That stuff is hard because they're not fully recharged from getting at least 7 hours of sleep. Okay. So last one, last habit or last daily action you got to be doing is you got to be de-stressing 1 hour per day. Okay. So this is an overlooked one. Again, like I don't just talk about less calories, move more. Honestly, you gotta fix your mind as well. Like your brain has to be like locked in if you really want to lose the weight faster. Okay. So a lot of ladies overlook stress and sleep levels. Okay. So this habit might be super overlooked, most women don't have a weight problem, they have a stress problem, right? And what causes and like what does stress lead to? Stress leads to making you eat more, making you snack more, making you crave sugar because you don't have enough energy in you, right? Making you lose motivation. When you're stressed, you're not motivated to do these things because you have less energy. So this is why I say you need at least 1 hour of de-stressing daily. So I don't count doom scrolling as de-stress as de-stressing. Okay, so no doom scrolling. Put that into the Zoom chat right now. And if you're listening as well, put that into the chat. If you're live or like watching the live, put that into the chat right now. No doom scrolling. Okay, so no doom scrolling allowed when it comes to de-stressing. Okay, do something that's going to clear your mind. Okay, 1 hour a day where your nervous system is actually calmed down. So that could be a walk, right? Walk somewhere, walk to somewhere, right? Maybe a longer walk on the treadmill, watching your favorite show or a podcast or whatever you like to watch, okay? That could be 1 hour of stretching, right? Again, we're looking for stuff that's going to relax your nervous system. Because if you're in a state of high stress, guess what? It's going to be hard to lose the weight. Okay. So it could be a walk, it could be stretching, it could be 1 hour of journaling, drawing, driving, bicycling, whatever. Okay. So anything that's going to clear your mind, just no doom scrolling because that's what fuels anxiety. Okay. And once your stress drops, everything is going to be easier. Like your choices are going to be easier, your hunger, your workouts, your sleep, everything is going to be easier once you have less stress and once you make sure you de-stress and let yourself um, do something that's going to clear your mind. Okay. And that's how you build discipline from the inside out. Okay. Because this has to be strong in order for your whole body to be strong as well. Okay. So it's not just eating less. It's not just about eating more veggies. It's not just about moving more. It's not just about getting workouts in. Your mind has to be like strong and fully recharged and calm if you want to lose weight. Okay. And if you've seen all the clients that have seen success in the program, they're chill ass dudes, right? They're chill ass girls who have no stress, right? Maybe they do, but they've learned how to overcome it. They've learned what to do to de-stress, okay? And that's what's going to lead to a crazy transformation in the next 6 months, okay? So again, it's not just about working out, moving more, eating less. It's about clearing the mind as well. It sounds a bit woo-woo, like it might sound like crazy, but honestly, like this is honestly what's going to lead to crazy fat loss, a crazy transformation in the next 6 months, okay? So for your game plan today, here's how you make this stick for life. Actually, no, let's do a recap of all these habits real quick. Okay. So, number one is if you do 12,000 steps per day until June, you're going to see a massive change in your body. Okay. Number two, also, if you make sure that you're eating half plate of veggies for every single meal, it could be at the food court as well. You're going to see a massive change in your body as well. Okay. Number three is making sure you're eating or drinking more water throughout the day and making sure that 2 liters is done before 3 p.m. You're going to notice that you're going to be less snacky throughout the day. Number four is you could follow any workout. Okay. Make sure you change it up every 4 to 6 weeks. Number five is make sure that you have protein prepped for the rest of the week. If you run out of meat, go to Save-On, go to Superstore, go to Walmart, buy rotisserie chicken. So you have food ready for Thursday and Friday. Okay. Number six is to get into bed at least 8 hours before you wake up so that you have at least 7 hours of sleep. And number seven is to make sure you're de-stressing at least 1 hour per day. And if you follow all these things, trust me, June, you're going to look completely different. Okay. You're going to look completely different. Like all these habits that I've listed are pretty much all the habits that um, that Kathleen has done, that Shar has done, that Camille has done, right? That Karina has done, that Trixie has done, right? That Mari has done. All these successful people in the program, this is exactly what they did. Okay. So your game plan now is to choose two habits today that you're going to do. Okay. So don't do all seven at once. That's why most women burn out. Choose two for now and then commit to them for 2 weeks. So once they feel more automatic, maybe add one more so that by the time summer hits, you'll be living like the successful woman, or like the successful woman in the soft sculpted method. Okay. They're doing all these things, and that's what's really like helped them see a crazy transformation in under a year. Okay. So don't start in January, start today. And yeah, January is honestly for people who panic. December is honestly for the women who want to transform. Okay. So put a start now in the Zoom chat if you're ready to start now. So I know that you're actually listening to me. Okay. Again, January is for people that panic. December is for the women who want to transform and be fully transformed by June. Okay. Anyways, that's pretty much it for today, and I'll see you next week. Peace.